Under the shade of the grand old tree, the children gathered eagerly as the wise grandfather began his tale. His voice carried both mystery and warmth. A long time ago, in a hidden village surrounded by lush valleys and sparkling rivers, a little girl named Era was born. Era was no ordinary child, she had a mark of a star on her hand, and from the moment she could walk, strange and beautiful things happened around her. Flowers would bloom wherever she went, and small animals would follow her as if drawn to her pure heart. One day, as she was playing near the forest, Era found a glowing book hidden under an ancient tree. The book, titled The Art of Harmony and Power, was filled with mysterious drawings and instructions on how to channel one's energy to create magic, and to protect others. As Era grew, she dedicated herself to mastering the skills in the book. She discovered she could use her magic not only to heal people but also to create movements that mimicked the flow of nature, the strength of rivers, the grace of trees swaying in the wind, and the fierce power of storms. She developed a unique martial art, one that combined these magical movements with a philosophy of kindness and balance. The villagers, initially hesitant, soon marveled at Era's abilities. She would teach children to defend themselves with swift, flowing movements, while also teaching them to plant seeds, mend broken tools, and help one another. "Strength without kindness is hollow," she would say with a gentle smile. One fateful summer, the village was threatened by a band of raiders who sought to take their crops and harm their people. The villagers panicked, but Era stood firm. "We will not fight with hate," she told them. "We will fight with courage and protect what is good." Using her teachings, Era led the villagers in a peaceful defense. They used the flowing martial art movements she taught to confuse and redirect the raiders. Era herself, glowing with magical energy, created a protective barrier around the village, making it impossible for harm to come to her people. After the dark times, Era continued teaching her art to everyone, but she focused especially on helping people in need. She would travel to nearby villages, healing the sick, planting crops in barren lands, and teaching her martial art of harmony to all who wished to learn. Soon, her legacy spread far and wide, and people from distant lands came to her small village to be her students. Grandfather paused, his eyes twinkling as he looked at the children. Era's lesson was simple: true strength is not in fists, but in hands that heal and help. And that, my little ones, is how the world was changed by a girl with a glowing heart. The children clapped, their imaginations alive with visions of Era, the little magician who taught the world to blend magic, movement, and kindness. Under the shade of another great tree, on the opposite side of the world, another story began. A wise elder sat surrounded by curious children, their eyes glowing with anticipation as he started his tale. Under the shade of another great tree, on the opposite side of the world, another story began. A wise elder sat surrounded by curious children, their eyes glowing with anticipation as he started his tale. In a hidden village surrounded by towering cliffs and shimmering waterfalls, a miracle occurred. On a quiet night under a sky filled with dancing stars, a glowing basket appeared on the doorstep of an elder named Hero. Inside, wrapped in soft cloth, lay a baby boy with a glowing mark on his hand shaped like a crescent moon. Hero named the boy Kai, meaning ocean, for the calming energy he radiated. From the moment of his arrival, Kai brought change. His laughter made the nearby waterfall sparkle with renewed life, and his tiny hands seemed to hold the essence of magic itself. As Kai grew, his gifts became more evident. One day, while exploring the forest, he found an ancient scroll hidden in the roots of a massive tree. The scroll, titled The Path of Flow and Strength, taught techniques to channel energy into movements full of grace and power. Kai practiced daily, learning to move like the ocean's waves, fluid yet unstoppable. His movements were not only beautiful but also meaningful. When he spun, he could summon breezes that carried seeds to distant fields. When he stomped, the earth responded with fresh growth. The villagers marveled at his abilities and began to follow his example. One evening, a shadow fell over the village. Bandits came, seeking to steal the village's treasures and destroy its peace. The villagers were terrified, but Kai stepped forward. "We can stand together," he said calmly. Using his movements, he taught the villagers how to channel their strength and energy through his magical techniques. When the bandits attacked, Kai stood at the village's center, glowing with radiant energy. He moved like a tidal wave, creating shimmering barriers and redirecting the attackers with swift, fluid motions. The villagers, inspired by his courage, united to protect their home. The bandits, overwhelmed by the unity in magic, fled and never returned. After the battle, Kai's reputation spread far and wide. People from distant lands traveled to his village to learn his magical art. Kai welcomed them all, teaching not only his techniques but also the philosophy behind them. True strength is found in helping others and living in harmony with the world. Grandfather paused, his eyes twinkling as he looked at the children. Era's lesson was simple: true strength is not in fists, but in hands that heal and help. And that, my little ones, is how the world was changed by a girl with a glowing heart. The children clapped, their imaginations alive with visions of Era, the little magician who taught the world to blend magic, movement, and kindness.